What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Basement Show. It's already a laugh a minute. You have no idea what was going on behind the scenes.
Neither do we. Thankfully, it wasn't recorded.
General stupidity. We got a lot of great books and a lot of great stuff to talk about. Right off the bat, we got Superior Spider-Man number 30. We got Ghost Rider number 1. Silver Surfer number 1. We got Iron Patriot number 1. We got Origin 2 issue 4. We got Blackout number 1. We got DC Universe versus Masters of the Universe number 6. That series concludes. We got Masters of the Universe number 11. The G.I. Joe hits 200. Real American Hero, finally. I know.
And Ramon doesn't care.
We got Real Heroes number 1 and Suicide Squad Amanda Waller number 1.
Instead of Real Heroes, didn't you mean Ultimates number 1?
It's basically the same thing.
Okay, yeah.
Brian Hitch doesn't really know where he's at. He thinks it's the year 2000.
Yeah.
But before we continue, speaking of G.I. Joe, check out what I got from our good friend Lynn Morrow for the Tiny on Etsy and Twitter. Remember when we showed off this?
Awesome.
When we showed off the Snake Eyes little knit guy that she made me, well, we asked, I wonder if she has a Storm Shadow. She made me a Storm Shadow, citing, "Dear Pete, thank you so much for featuring my Etsy shop on your show. It was such a surprise. Here is the first Storm Shadow as a thank you. I have not listed it on Etsy yet. I wanted you to be the first, and let's see what you thought of it. Let me know when you get him." Well, Lynn, I got him, and damn it, he's awesome. Take a look at this. First of all, he's got the Arashikage little symbol on his arm. And he's got the 2 katana swords. The Snake Eyes is one. And if you notice, like a badass, he's actually got it underhand in this hand.
Overhand.
Yeah. So he's got the one overhand, and he's got this one. Yeah.
That's revenge for earlier, wasn't it?
That was totally, I've just started. Guys, check her out for the Tiny on Etsy and Twitter. There's just such great detail in these. They're really tightly knit.
Do you have Thor or Loki? Let me know.
Oh boy.
Because Ramon wants to come back and just fuck up my Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow with his Thor.
Disfigure him.
Yeah, just a little bit.
All right.
I think he wants a life-size Mjolnir made out.
Could you imagine like a big-ass knit Mjolnir?
That'd be awesome.
I already know his answer. Would Storm Shadow... if those two teamed up, could they take down Thor?
No.
I'm not asking
No way.
him.
Zap, dead, done. Bye-bye.
Yeah,
See you
really.
later.
You think
and
so?
And then Thor's going to fly off and have a beer and bang Natalie Portman.
You don't think that Storm
And
Shadow...
Scarlet.
You don't think that the two
Boom,
of them...
and Jinx.
You don't think that the two of them wouldn't come up to him without him even fucking realizing?
No, he's Thor. I like Snake Eyes. I named my dog after his wolf.
True. No. That's why I didn't ask you.
Okay. Because you thought I'd have a different answer?
Yes.
Yeah. So, Book of the Week was a kind of a toss-up this go-around. We were trying to figure out like if Book of the Week was the one we liked the most or the one that warranted being talked about the most. So, we just figured, all right, let's just go with the one that we'll talk about and the one that we liked. Both surprises. There is no denying that Superior Spider-Man number 30 was a surprise this week. Spoiler alert, throw the cheese down there. Peter Parker returns. Doc Ock realizes that he is not the Superior Spider-Man.
Okay, can I ask a question?
Of course you can.
When the hell did he friggin' realize that?
Apparently when the midget was in trouble.
Really? That's what ultimately makes him go, hey, you know what? Peter, you're the better one, so you know what?
Save the midget, please.
I'm going to erase
Go
myself.
save my little woman.
Yes.
Pun completely intended. We are so getting
No,
better.
there were short jokes in this.
Yo, there was mad short jokes.
There was a lot of short jokes.
The goblin was like, she's in a little bit of danger. This is crazy shit.
Wait a minute, was this a comic book or an episode of fucking Robot Chicken?
Yeah.
But it was just anticlimactic. Like, I have been waiting for the return of Peter Parker for, what, almost 2 years now?
A little over a year.
I did not care. I liked Octopus. He was Superior Spider-Man.
You knew Parker had to come back, but after the synopsis that I had created in my head of Ock viciously losing to the Green Goblin, the Goblin taking over New York, and then Doc Ock at his very lowest with Anna Maria already dead, him then realizing that Peter Parker would have found a better way to deal with this, and then somehow relinquishing control.
Okay, here's a better one for you. I thought they were going to go with something with Spidey 2099 when they brought him back. I thought it was going to be something where it's like, hey, you know what? The future's all messed up because of the fact that, you know, that
I took over Peter's mind.
Right. So now all of a sudden he comes back, and it was just kind of like, okay, why the hell did he come back other than to launch another friggin' book in July? Which, don't get me wrong,
Is there a Spidey 2099 2014?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
I was joking.
No. It's July. It's coming. The book is coming. So, what was the point? Seriously, what was the point of bringing him back?
He has served no purpose in this story.
No, he's
none
just gotten his
whatsoever.
ass kicked in every single appearance, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like they're fighting these like new Spider Slayer, goblin
Right.
bots or whatever that Norman has taken control over. By the way, we're not sure if it's Norman. More on that in a moment.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, the goblin threatens Anna Maria in the little visit screen on the robots, and
And then
Spidey
she said, "Help me,
2099,
Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope."
pretty much. And Spidey 2099 is like, don't he's obviously saying that if we work together, we can defeat these robots. So let's work together, and then we'll go
Peace!
save. Where are you? Meanwhile, Superior's like, deuces, bitch. Good luck. I'm going to save the little woman.
Yeah.
I did it
Yeah.
again. It's all right. But now we are treated to it like what's her name? Liz Allen holding a goblin mask in this.
Yeah.
So she
That
is
was
either
interesting.
completely in on it, or she's the Green Goblin.
I hope she's not the Green Goblin.
I really
hope
do
so,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
What if it's Normie?
Normie?
I mean, I
He's
don't know if
still
this,
too young.
He looks too young,
Yeah.
which is a problem.
Yeah.
But it's not. I think if it was Norman, somehow you would have been proven the fact that it's Norman.
No,
so
I don't,
maybe
I
it's
don't
Harry.
think it is Norman. I'm going to say hands down, I don't think it's Norman.
It has to be
Do you
Harry.
think it's Harry? Because if it's not, who's left?
No.
Please, God, don't let it be Green Goblin 3, his fucking therapist,
Oh, God, no.
whose name escapes me.
Well, what about the bald one, if that was from back in the Clone
Was his
Saga?
therapist himself for fucking
You
years?
remember that?
No, I think I've
There was-
86 that from my head.
No, it was right after the Clone Saga.
What happened to the children Osborn had were from Gwen Stacy?
What the fuck are you talking about, bro? Seriously.
Wow.
I will fuck
Would
your
Dan
simple ass
Slott
up.
go there? Will Dan Slott go there?
He's capable.
Fuck it, Ramon just
No,
went there.
no.
Dan Slott will go
It's
there.
Harry.
You're on timeout. 5 minutes. You don't talk.
But no, seriously,
And the comic Nazi
anticlimactic.
has spoken.
So, he's all fucking like, oh, go save my Anna Maria. And he's like, wow, Ak, you really love her. And yes, and to save her, I must give up every part of that love, for I know only you can save her, because you are the superior Spider-Man. And Peter's
How
like,
did he come
and
to
Peter's
that
just looking
conclusion?
like, bro, I really am. Like, he just had the fucking epiphany himself. It's ridiculous. And then he comes back and he's crying over a midget, and then he goes into the closet and he gets out the classic suit.
Throws it on.
First of all, the superior suit is far superior. I'm sorry, it's a great ass costume.
Yeah, it
I
is.
like costume changes.
But that's a nice costume.
That's a sick costume, yeah.
And that's a bad photo.
That
That's
is
a
terrible.
bad
It is.
drawing. He's got no
constipated.
neck. He looks like he's been doing GH for 7 years and he's got no neck left.
He's dropping a deuce there.
Holy man. He's like, oh, he's clenching to prevent one.
Yes. All right.
Because he's in the costume. And that'll be bad.
He's not wearing Depends.
Remember that
He doesn't
scene
have
that
to anymore, it's
McFarlane
not
drew
.com.
when he sneezed and he's got the bad guy like by the collar and he's like, and if you think I'm mad now, it's like, just imagine what the inside of my mask feels like.
Yeah.
So, I don't remember what issue
I
it
don't
was.
remember, but I
you
remember
know
you
that.
talking about
Maybe
it,
it was
yes.
Larson.
I think it was Larson. I'm pretty sure it was
But I
Larson.
remember it was like a winter scene. He fucking sneezes in the
Yeah.
mask.
Yep.
This is
But
bad.
either
Bring
way,
back
like
Michelin?
it just seemed like this appearance of Peter came right out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It actually reminds me a little bit of when I bitched about the ending to the Alpha story. That it was all of a sudden, oh, it's over. Like, well,
here's
I was
the-
expecting
let me-
more parts.
Let me
'cause
pose a question. How much of it do you think is slot, and how much do you think is editorial?
That's a fair point.
It's almost entirely
Because
editorial.
honestly,
I'm pretty sure it's editorial.
It
at this
feels
point.
like all of a sudden 25th issue came around, and suddenly it was like, oh shit, we got to bring Peter back for the movie.
Right.
Shit. All right, make it happen.
Which, I mean, you still kind of had 2 issues to get out before the movie comes out in
Right.
May.
Yeah.
You could have definitely done it within there, and I think told a little bit of a better story.
Yeah.
I don't think that the ending of Goblin Nation should have started until after the movie.
Yeah.
And far be it from me to say drag the story on, but I think it needed.
It's
I think
rushing.
Ock
It's
needed
rushing
to
through it.
get a little bit lower
Than where he
is.
was.
Yeah. I agree
Because
with
now
that.
it'll just be somebody will find Ock and bring him back, and hopefully,
I hope he
it's-
comes back in that nanotechnology that he showed a few issues back. Like that. That'd be awesome. At least for
I
now.
wouldn't mind if all of a sudden if he was still in Peter's head, and that actually causes shit for Peter.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Because, Peter was sitting in his head.
He's going to have
Now we
a
got the
lot of problems now. Let's see how he deals with that. What's that? Because we have a girl who's barely half a hostage. Yeah.
Midget jokes.
Wow, they made their
Lot
own
of
midget
them, lot of
joke.
them.
Wow, that's pretty funny.
Surprise hit of the week. Ghost Rider #1 come
Way
out.
fun.
I was expecting garbage.
Way fun.
I hate the artwork. I hate it. I'm
Okay.
gonna just go on record right now.
I will hold on. If you take that artist, you put him on a different
I agree
book.
with him.
You put him on a
spoke about
Spider-Man
this
book,
Put him on a Spider-Man
a book that's supposed to be
Yes.
fun.
But it's not a
Great.
Ghost
No.
Rider book. Should be dark.
What the fuck is with that metal-looking mask and that fucking?
Mark Teixeira had a nice, dark, gritty look to his artwork.
Oh, I haven't heard his name in a while.
And he, I mean, like, granted, he's been done, but like, you need somebody like with that
I understand.
grittiness.
Especially the style of story where you got a kid who, he's working a fucking dead-end job and a mechanic who's obviously a shyster.
Yep.
He's got a fucking brother who's a cripple and gets picked on by gangs.
And those
That's
last
fucked
three, what
up.
happens to him in the last 3 pages?
Seriously, this is a fucked up story.
Yeah.
And it's a great story. It pulls you in immediately. You immediately feel for the character. You want him to win. You want him to fuck up those gang members who
Yep.
obviously beat the snot out of him.
But you notice, Captain Sweat has mentioned this. More and more heroes are moving onto the West Coast where it could be more gritty and less big
It
old
has nothing to do
superhero
with
type
grit.
thing.
It's Marvel expanding their world because
Yes.
everybody from fucking Pennsylvania West is like, yo man, why everybody gotta be in New York? Because New York is awesome, but nevertheless, they kind of feel left out, and that's Marvel just opening the umbrella. That's all it is.
But they
It has
didn't
nothing to do
bring-
with grit or nothing.
But they didn't bring out the crazy superheroes out there yet.
Give them
So
time.
far it's like street level.
I mean, they
type
had
of-
that-
The
Remember
Avengers are
Avengers
all
West
the
Coast?
fuck over.
What?
Do you remember Avengers
Okay,
West
even
Coast?
more recently
No,
than that
no,
is
no, I
when the
don't.
X-Men moved out to San Francisco.
Yeah.
Right.
So
was
they
the
had
kind of
them there
start
for a
of it.
long time.
Yeah.
I mean,
This Ghost Rider story is absolutely fantastic.
Fun.
Yeah, it is.
Get it.
Before we move on, favorite Ghost Rider?
Catch.
Dan Ketch, he's the one I grew
I go
up with.
Dan Ketch too, yeah.
I'll go with the majority because I'm not that familiar with the character. I never got a chance to read
Those
that much
first
of it.
25 issues, Dan Ketch, were awesome.
That was really like the height of. That was when I started collecting.
Yeah.
And remember when he was a rookie in the Marvel cards
Yeah,
and everything?
I remember
First of all,
that.
that was one of the best covers. The artwork was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything about that series with Blackout and Death Watch and
Yeah.
everything. The
Yeah.
villains were sick.
Yeah.
There was what's his name? Suicide or something. The guy that he wanted to get killed. He had to get killed by Ghost Rider.
Oh,
yes,
yeah, I remember
yes,
that.
yes.
Yeah.
Those were
Zodiac?
Zodiac was
Zodiac
fucking
was-
crazy.
oh, man.
These were awesome stories, and like I don't know, that was the
And
Ghost
when
Rider that I
Johnny-
grew up with.
When they first brought Johnny Blaze back in that book, how he came
As
at
he was
him
just
and he
Johnny
got the-
Blaze with the shotgun.
Yeah, the
And then he got
Hellfire.
Rise of the
Hellfire
Midnight
shotgun.
Suns and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
That's
It was-
what.
it was good.
Once it was Rise of the Midnight Suns, that's after that, it tanked for like
Yeah.
a long time.
Yeah.
And those last 4 were great, but
And then the movie came out. But anyway,
There was
Wait,
also the.
Don't
when
mention the movie, dude. Why you gotta be
when
that?
he
Why you gotta
crossed
be
over
like
with
that?
Spidey when he was doing when McFarlane was doing the
Yeah.
regular Spider-Man
Yeah.
series.
I
You know
mentioned
better.
and 7.
I mentioned
Yep.
Gwen Stacy's kids. I can mention the movie.
I'm gonna hit you.
Anyways, change the subject. Maria wants to know what are our thoughts on a TMNT movie?
They're really huge. Like I remember the Turtles, they was this big. They was like 4 foot, and now they're like 6.5 foot.
All I'm gonna say is, if The Rock has got a movie coming out, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles have a movie coming out, they gotta go toe to toe. That's all I'm saying.
First of all, The Rock is. I like The Rock as an actor. I think he's hilarious.
He is.
I think he's funny, and I think he can actually take on the role, even though he's just like a walking mountain.
Right.
So him as Hercules fits for me.
Yeah.
I don't know about that whole "I am Hercules" from the trailer. That was a little corny. But the rest of the book should be good if they follow
Rest of the
the
book?
comic book. I'm sorry, it was a comic book before.
Radical, yeah.
There was from
No, I
Radical
know.
Comics was Hercules the Thracian Wars. And if they follow that comic, that was how I got into Radical before the company just went belly up and disappeared.
It turned more into just like a movie production company.
Which is what they had intended to do in the first place. But how about you finish your fucking comic books first, you bastards?
How do you really feel?
Either way, Ninja Turtles, it looks okay. It
Yeah.
looks obviously Michael Bay-ish. There's
There's explosions.
explodies.
music and yeah.
Shredder's a white guy. I don't quite understand that.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And everybody's
it off
kind of
right now.
wondering.
Don't worry, it's just a mask.
But
just a mask.
everybody's wondering if now is Shredder going to be the boss, or is it going to be Krang from Dimension X? Is the Shredder outfit just a robot? Is Krang's robot body?
Ew.
There's a bunch of rumors flying around, but meanwhile, I just don't
wouldn't
want to
mind
gloss
seeing
over the
Frank.
fact that the Ninja Turtles are 7.5 feet tall.
Yeah, I don't like that. You can't be a ninja.
You can't be a ninja if you're that fucking big. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know.
But they look awesome. So, and Megan Fox is just not as pretty anymore. I'm sorry, Megan.
No.
I mean, I'll never throw you out of my bed, but
she's gotten too much work.
I never think she was that great.
she
to
looks
begin
like
with.
she's got road work done. You know what I mean? Road's been plowed.
Did you ever see the picture of 2005, 2006?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
we're gonna wrap
hot
this up.
then.
Let's
Yeah.
wrap this up. Yeah, that's just off topic.
What? What happened? We're still on topic. We're talking about how hot Megan Fox is. You know, that's half of the reason people's going to go see Ninja
I never
Turtles.
thought she was that hot to begin with.
You're a weird kid. You know that?
Yeah.
Strange bird. Guys, for the rest of the comics this week and more on the X-Men trailer and more fan questions, tune into the audio show. Remember to subscribe to us on YouTube. Subscribe to our Extras channel. Check out the haul list up in the upper right-hand corner of the Pete'sBasement.com so you can see what me and the rest of the fellas are getting this week and each and every week. Make sure you hit us up on Facebook.com/Pete's Basement. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. You can also follow me personally. That's Pete's Basement and Pete from Pete's Basement.
Does he really want people following him?
Yeah,
I
we're
do,
gonna
I do.
email people their addresses and they gotta follow you like
Yes.
you're the Pied Piper.
Exactly.
Listen, how awesome would that be? Just leading a legion of comic fans down the street. I could lead them to
Playing a
Comic-Con.
flute.
Comic-Con? Much?
Yeah,
Just saying.
I could totally do this.
Life is like
And if I can get in there with a
Here in Duckburg, race cars,
lasers, airplanes,
it's
duck blur.
not
solve a mystery or rewrite history. DuckTales. Woo! Might as well finish it now. Oh, come on,
Pete knows the rest.
Of course he does.